who I am, first and foremost, I'm Kevin Kline. I'm a channel account manager at ShipStation. I manage our partnerships with a variety of digital agencies across e-commerce. These are companies, if you don't know what a digital agency is, Seller's Choice is one of them, one of our great partners, that doing great work in e-commerce, can help you with just about anything you need. And for background on me, I worked in manufacturing, working in the music industry for about 5 or 6 years. I worked for Fender. I worked for a company called Korg, doing a lot of stuff in e-commerce, and found that a lot of our e-commerce merchants, the biggest merchants that we had selling our products, were using ShipStation. I was based in Austin the entire time, and ended up coming to ShipStation because I was compelled by what was, to me at the time, a very cool product. ShipStation, in a nutshell, is a web-based, it's a SaaS-based shipping and automation application that integrates with 90 plus, it's actually trending more like 100 plus different marketplaces across e-commerce. So these are places where orders are generated online, Amazon, eBay, that sort of thing. Where we can pull in orders into a central dashboard where merchants can then do pick, pack, and ship through a variety of carriers, right? So these are all names you've probably seen, like guys with planes at the airport, USPS, FedEx, UPS, those guys. And the idea is you bring in those orders into a dashboard, you can do pick, pack, and ship, print postage right there, get it out in a timely manner, and have all that information sort of seamlessly flow back into wherever the order was generated, right? The customer's updated, and do that in like the quickest and fastest way possible. At scale, right? The idea being that you can get as many orders out as fast as you can, especially when and e-commerce is growing like crazy. When you get a lot of orders in, you need to get them out in a timely manner, and ShipStation allows our merchants to do that.
Yeah, nice. That might have been the easiest way I've ever heard an ERP system explained ever. It's a central thing and it connects with everyone. It's great.
Yeah. So we don't see ourselves as a straight ERP because we don't do like a ton of financials, but certainly someone who needs to process orders and get the nuts and bolts of doing e-commerce, like getting the box out the door and making sure that the customer's updated and has a tracking number and stuff like that. That's really where our core competency lies.
Yeah, so you guys are like the kings of diversification for the most part. Like the second you're ready to go off to another platform,
right? Yeah. Our whole motto is that wherever they sell, however they ship, exceptionally efficient, right? I mean, we really want to be wherever orders are generated, be it in an ERP or an order management system like a Channel Advisor or something like that, or a web store, right? Magento. BigCommerce, those kinds of companies. We just want to be there and help people ship as efficiently as possible.
Nice. So let's, what is the order of how you see people move into different marketplaces? Like, I'm guessing 9 times out of 10, at least nowadays, they're starting more or less either on their own site or on Amazon, and then they're moving into other platforms, right?
Yeah, so we see that a lot, right? Because it's really like ease of getting into it, right? It's really easy nowadays to get a third-party seller account on Amazon and get a Seller Central account and start either pulling in products from China or sort of reselling products from a manufacturer. I mean, you could be up and running in a day, right? What we often see is that most people on ShipStation will connect a lot of different marketplaces, right? They start to maybe build competency in one, like maybe it's Amazon, and then move into eBay, right? Or move into, maybe they've got their web store. Maybe they've got, if they're selling like niche things. By my background in the music industry, a lot of people were selling on a platform called Reverb, which is a musical instrument sort of like reselling platform, right? So, which we have an integration with. So they start sort of maxing out those channels, and then they have to sort of figure out a way, okay, I've got all these orders flowing from all these different channels. How do I manage that? And how do I manage communication? Because you can imagine that if you had to like log back into a different web marketplace every time and upload those tracking numbers in a manual way, that would be basically your life at scale.
Okay. So I actually started my career in the music industry too, so I'm very familiar. You're talking about Reverb Nation? Right? Reverb
Nation, but also it's actually a platform for selling used musical instruments called Reverb.com. Believe it or not. Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's basically like the whole concept of you can go and sell like my used Fender Stratocaster, for example, and I sell 2 instruments a year, but it's just that the whole idea that it's fast to get on more channels, and as easy as they have made it now to either resell products or sell new products, they need stuff to be able to manage the sort of the nuts and bolts of shipping behind that.
Yeah. So in terms of the integration from wherever a seller starts to going into another platform, what is the amount of time you typically see it takes a new seller to go into a new platform?
It's a good question. It's probably it varies, right? So certainly they may come find us because we integrate with Amazon, but I've seen customers who have had maybe they start with Amazon, and then within a year they're doing 10 or 15 different channels. So I guess it just depends on how ubiquitous their product is, right? If it's a very commodity style product, you can sell it everywhere. Maybe if it's musical instruments, you're not selling in as many channels. But yeah, I would say probably within a year we start seeing pretty big traction, because it's amazing how once you solve the shipping component, once you've sort of figured out I've got this whole thing of logistics sort of streamlined and automated, now I can turn my attention to growing my business, right? And the first way to do that online in a lot of ways, or at least the easiest way to do it, is to maximize your selling channels.
Yeah. Okay. So marketing company, we're always in the market for new tools and stuff like that. So we're always looking for new stuff. And every time I go shopping for a new tool, I end up finding 1 or 2 or even more features that I'm like, wow, I can't believe this thing does that. Where I didn't really read it on the site, and it's one of those, now that I'm playing with it, this is a cool feature kind of thing.
Right.
So what is it that ShipStation has that's one of those things that people don't even realize that you guys can do?
So I would say let me give you a marketing answer, because we really tried to explore this concept of how do you brand the shipping experience, right? So we have this phrase around here called branded shipping, where we see touch points in the fulfillment process where a merchant can extend their brand. These be literally the label itself on the box, right? So you can actually put your the store logo on the label, on the FedEx label or the UPS label. You can actually customize the packing slip, make that really cool extendable moment in the branded process. One of my favorite features of ShipStation, though, is probably our branded tracking page. So the thing that really impressed me when I first saw this was that whole concept of sending an email, right? When you've ordered a product, the shipment notification email, right? And I've gotten emails from top 50 brands out there in e-commerce that have just been awful, right? Black and white text. Your thing has shipped, and I click on the tracking number and it bounces me to FedEx and it says label created, right? A little frustrating. You don't know what's nothing's really happened. Come back in a day and check, right? So what ShipStation does is we can actually send the email on behalf of the marketplace. You can actually make that email pop. It looks good. And you can click a link that'll take you to a page that we host where it's branded, and all the merchants see is a map, where their package is on the map, the touch points, right? The as it moves through the mail stream, right? It went to this facility and was scanned or whatever, but it's branded. So it shows the merchant's brand. It shows what's in the box. It's got an image there. And it doesn't say anything about, FedEx. It doesn't say anything about, hey, here's this new stamp from us at USPS. It's this isolated or a little more, isolated experience in the customer journey that allows that merchant to extend their brand. That's probably one of the coolest things, and most of the time when I show people that, they're wowed by that, because it's just sort of an afterthought, right? It's well, I sent them the email and I got the tracking number, but we see it as an opportunity to extend the brand, and I thought it was a neat feature.
Yeah, it's cool that you guys do that kind of stuff, because we talk about that a lot here of everyone, it's marketing, so everyone's talking about funnels, but everyone's funnel seems to end as soon as they purchase. But they have your product at home now, and it's in shipping, and it's all this extra stuff that happens after the actual use of the product that everyone seems to skip over. And there's so many opportunities. In fact, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the Instagram live video that we did was with a company called the Company Box. So it's basically it's those subscription boxes where you can fully brand it and make them all cool looking and everything. And it doesn't make sense to me, these sellers out here that, they get the sale and then that's it. You're but you get the lifetime of a customer when you brand them and you put them through a whole experience, that extra value that you guys can add after they've purchased is always what kind of keeps them coming back and keeps them talking.
Yeah. For us, it's all about like how can you create those wow moments post purchase. Like the little details, they add up. So one of the big ones that are out there, and everybody talks about this, sort of the Amazonification of shipping, right? Everybody's expectation now is 2-day, which we can help you do, without losing your shirt and having to pay every service be 2-day. But they're doing it well, right? If you get an Amazon box at your door, it's got Amazon tape around it. The box is branded Amazon. So they recognize that the post-purchase experience is an important feature, and I think that more merchants need to be thinking in that mindset, right? Like, we need the thing I always say is when like the last good experience a customer has, that's the new standard, right? So if their new standard is that it gets it there in 2 days and it's branded and you've got these wow moments around fulfillment, then you need to be trying to at least meet that, because that's what they're seeing with the half of e-commerce right now, right?
Yeah. Huh. I like that. Never thought of it saying it like that. So perfect time of year to look at. All right. So A, what are you seeing so far in Q4? And then B, what are you guys thinking are going to be trends in 2019 that sellers should be looking out for?
So for us, I'm seeing a lot of, people are now combining this whole concept of omnichannel, right? So that's like the big buzzword that's popping up in e-commerce. And what I'm seeing, at least in the shipping world, is that they are giving, the merchants who are doing it well are giving their customers more and more options around how to get their products. More shipping options. Being able to adjust the shipping options, knowing, if I need something in a day, what's the extra cost, right? You should be able to see that pre-purchase, right? Not post-purchase. Like you should be able to see that at the cart. And if I want to have the option from picking up from store, right? If I have a physical location, it's really this merging of the two channels, right? Brick and mortar and e-commerce. And I'm also seeing a lot of e-commerce, and for next year, I'm also seeing a lot of e-commerce sort of getting into that space, right? I think as like larger merchants are retreating from the big retail space because everyone talks about this retail apocalypse, right? Stores are closing. So I think e-commerce merchants who are being really successful or have been successful are now seeing a space where, we could also have a physical store where we can host inventory and have people pick up locally, right?
Yeah.
The other big trend I'm seeing and what I'll see I think in 2019 is this whole concept of like, how do we meet what Amazon's doing around same day? So there are some great companies out there that are really pushing the whole same-day angle. One of them is a company called ShipBob, which is a partner of ours, setting up fulfillment centers around these major metropolitan areas where you can get your product same day, and you can offer your product same day to merchants, so you can meet Amazon, right? I mean, again, it's sort of like the whole concept of Amazonification of shipping. I think merchants are just trying to figure out, like, not how do we meet it, right? Because it's very hard to beat it. But we've got to be there. We've got to be consistent, and offer the same services that the 800-pound gorilla is.
No.
So just to put a bow on that, I'd say the whole, like, how do we meet Amazon, and then how do we blend the idea of, like, physical location and e-commerce. I think that's really where it's headed.
Yeah. We it's funny, we've been doing a similar approach through strictly just e-commerce over the past year or so, where we've actually kind of gone more or less the omnichannel approach, where we're actually taking like sellers who have diversified. So obviously, let's say they've gone to you guys, they've gone to different platforms. So they're on Walmart and eBay and Jet and Amazon and all these things.
Right.
We've actually started to treat their website like their own personalized marketplace. Mm-hmm. So we're driving all the traffic through their website like anyone else would, but we're actually adding, buy on Amazon, buy on Walmart, buy on Jet, buy on eBay. Let the consumer shop wherever they want, because how many times does someone come into your site and they go, oh, I really want this, but I also need new silverware, so I'm going to go to Amazon and get that. Yeah. So, and then they may end up on a competitor. So at least this way you're sending them directly to your listing or, wherever else they're purchasing, or if it's a localized place, it's like I can pick it up at Walmart. So why not go buy it on Walmart.com and then pick up in store. So you're actually treating like all the Walmarts like your own personalized location if you have the ability to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I think what that boils down to is I think we're saying the same thing, right? We're just talking about options, right? It's just like, hey, I want every possible shipping option, and that's how it relates to our world, and that's kind of what we preach. So we're always saying like more options. Obviously, free shipping is great, but how do you do that without just like completely bleeding red, you know, and how do you, because I mean, obviously you're going to see conversion go up if free shipping is offered. And I think most consumers, it's well over half would say that shipping options are very important to them in the checkout process. So if you're not offering lots of options and lots of ways to do it, then you're not going to get the sale. I mean, that's because there's someone else, you know, that's going to be doing that same thing. And having the pickups from store, having the next day options, knowing what their cost is, how fast it's going to get to them. Not only that, like when is it going to be delivered? All of those questions, all those boxes are going to have to be checked going into next year before customers make decisions to purchase anything.
Yeah. Kevin, really appreciate it. I don't want to take up more of your Friday.
No, I appreciate it. No, I love this stuff.
Geeking
out on e-commerce is what we do. I mean, you know.
Can you give me like a nice overview? Let everyone know, you know, where they can find you. Obviously, this will get put up on like YouTube and our blog and all that fun stuff, so that next time someone watches this, they can find anything they need about ShipStation.
Yeah. So feel free. I would say your first point to learn more about ShipStation would talk to the guys at Seller's Choice. I mean, they know our product really well. I'd say go to our partners. They can tell you a lot about it. But of course, you can always go to ShipStation.com. You can check us out. 30-day free trial. You know, but in terms of like if you want the best experience, I'd say hit up Seller's Choice and ask them. You know, what do I need to do to get introduced to someone at ShipStation, and they can introduce you to me, and we can have a conversation.
Beautiful. Appreciate it. Love that we partnered you guys. I'm sure I'll be talking to you a lot more.
Yeah.
Hopefully I won't annoy you.
No problem, man. Thank you.
We'll talk music next time. Thanks, buddy.
Yep.
Appreciate it. Enjoy your weekend. I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.